Pokemon Legends ZA anime is here. The origins of Roy's shiny Mega Lucario, the backstory of Ult, and a secret connection to Ash Ketchum. Let's talk about Pokemon Horizons episode Mega Evolution. This arc serves as the origin of Roy's shiny Lucario and the backstory of Ult, and it starts out with Ult and Roy in the present day having a battle of Mega Evolutions. After it's over, Liko and Dot ask the question everybody's been wondering since the beginning of Mega Voltage. Roy, how did you meet Lucario? Well, it started a year ago. After the Rising Volt Tacklers disbanded, Roy made his way to Lumiose City. It's so great to see Kalos back in the anime. XY is my favorite series, and this was just a great nostalgia trip for me. Seeing Roy walk the streets of a place so significant to Ash Ketchum is amazing. We then move over to Ult, who's picking up trash. He later clarifies that he does it to clean up the city and make some extra money because they find random stuff laying around, like Megastones for example. I like this aspect because we later learn that Ult is actually from Lumiose City. Anyway, Roy finally makes it to the Prism Tower where he and Ult run into each other, and then they watch a Mega Evolution battle between Gardevoir and Slowbro. This is where the two meet Master Mayonnaise, who kind of seems shady, not gonna lie. He claims to be selling Megastones, but most of these things are just rocks. That being said, he offers to teach Roy and Ult about Mega Evolution, and he ends up giving them both their own Mega Ring. While Ult has Sableye, Roy doesn't actually have a Pokemon that can Mega Evolve at this point, so it leads to a really funny moment where he thought he was gonna Mega Evolve his Crocolore. After this, Mayonnaise sends Roy and Ult to go challenge Yellow Blast, a Pokemon who is waiting for a partner worthy enough to catch it. And as you can probably guess, it's Lucario. The lead up to their encounter with it felt a bit annoying because it just seemed like they were stalling to fill the runtime of the episode, but once we finally got to the battle, it was just amazing to see how strong and insurmountable this Pokemon looks, which makes it all the more confusing how it wasn't able to flat out destroy that Vileplume early on in Mega Voltage. The way they demonstrate Lucario's aura abilities to find the perfect hit on his target was so cool. Crocolore and Sableye don't even manage to land a blow, and that leaves Roy feeling dejected. Either way, this was a really solid beginning to this mini arc. This arc gets really good in this episode, and even though Roy has a few good moments, make no mistake, this is an Ult episode through and through. And as I've stated in previous videos, Pokemon Horizons post-time skip is at its best when Ult is at his best. Now that being said, Ult is definitely not at his best strength-wise. This is a major gut check episode for him, and we get a lot of development that shapes the character we see in the current day. So it starts off with Emma. Roy and Ult are staying with her randomly, but it's revealed that Emma actually took in Ult when he was younger. And this was honestly a sweet backstory because Emma states that another man once did the same for her, that being Looker, which is the first direct connection between a character and Ash Ketchum in Pokemon Horizons, which is literally amazing. Another funny moment here is when the power goes out, Emma literally Mega Evolves her Ampharos just to get the power back on. Like, come on, that's a bit overkill. That being said, this segment has some really sweet moments, like Roy setting the record straight about the Rising Volt Tacklers. I assume them disbanding happened pretty recently at this point, and you can tell just how sad and heartbroken he is about the situation and about losing Freed. Now that Emma is filled in though, I hope she returns in the upcoming arc. After Ult storms off, Emma requests that Roy becomes friends with him, and given their origin that I mentioned before, this makes sense and shows Emma's caring nature. After this, Ult and Roy go back to the place where Lucario is, but it's locked up, and then they run into Master Mayonnaise again. He suggests that Roy and Ult have a battle to continue their Mega Evolution training since Ult still isn't able to Mega Evolve Sableye. This is an opportunity for Roy to flex a bit after they both got destroyed last episode. Sure, Ult's Sableye has Power Gem, which is super effective on Crocolore, but you can clearly tell who had a full course worth of training at Naranja Academy and who didn't. Roy's timing and execution paired with his patience allow Crocolore to dodge all of the attacks and easily defeat Sableye. Meanwhile, Lucario is on a nearby roof watching the battle, which I assume makes him want to join Roy's team later, but we won't get to that in this episode. Also, this is the first time we really get to see a good Roy and Crocolore battle since before Mega Voltage, which I'm grateful for and hope we see more of going forward. The result of this battle frustrates Ult a lot though, and Mayonnaise gives him a huge lecture about how immature he was and how untrusting he was of Sableye in that battle, even going as far as to tell him to give up on Mega Evolution. Ult expresses how good of a friend Sableye is to him, which was a really sweet moment, and this segment works as immediate motivation for Ult to have more trust in Sableye, which is shown off well when they go back to the mansion to fight Lucario, which I assume will happen in the next episode. Before Roy and Ult get the chance to battle Lucario, they're confronted by two trainers, one with an Excelgor and one with an Escavalier. The battle isn't too remarkable. In the beginning, in all honesty, Roy is holding his own, but Ult is still struggling, because he still hasn't quite gotten the hang of not rushing carelessly into things. So that's what this battle serves as. Because of Roy, Ult notices how well the other trainers are working with their Pokemon and each other to create momentum in the battle. This is where the turning point of the battle is, as Roy and Crocalor manage to take out Escavalier, but are left vulnerable to an attack from Excelgor. At the last second, however, Ult and Sableye stop Excelgor and win the battle. It was a great test and amazing to see Ult progress even more, but now the real fight is here. Roy and Ult versus Lucario. And it honestly kind of starts the same way. I mean, Lucario is just insanely fast and has the jump on them. He even takes out Crocalor. Then we get to see Ult's Sableye Mega Evolve for the first time, and I think it was very well done. The soundtrack and dialogue where he was saying Sableye has always been with him made this payoff amazing, and I like how they don't immediately make Ult and Sableye overpowered. He definitely performs so much better, but still gets outmatched in the end since he's not used to the form. Lucario walks away disappointed because it pretty easily defeated these two, but then Crocalor musters up its strength and gets back into the battle. I really appreciate this arc for the extra hype Roy and Crocalor moments since we didn't get much of that in Mega Voltage. Seeing Roy and his Pokemon perfectly in sync was amazing. It also motivated Lucario a ton, and the battle was amazing as well. There was some great synergy between everyone involved. Now, I'm not sure how to explain this, but Lucario somehow formed a bond with Roy and Crocalor through this battle, which resulted in it Mega Evolving. This was rather strange, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we saw Karina and Ash work pretty hard for their Mega Pokemon in the anime, so the fact that Roy just automatically gets one is a bit weird to me. Putting that aside though, the two Pokemon clashing looked amazing. The animation was phenomenal here, but Crocalor ended up with a win, and big surprise, Roy ended up catching Lucario. The scene where it asked to join the team was kinda cute, I can't lie. Glad they're showing more of this Pokemon's personality. The ending scene where Ult shows Emma how grateful he is, and Emma says they're family and this is his home, was just really wholesome. It makes me think and hope that Emma is going to return in the next arc, maybe with her updated Legend ZA design. But what did you think of Pokemon Horizons episode Mega Evolution? If you want to see my episode reviews every week when the episode comes out, feel free to subscribe to the channel and follow me on TikTok where I post my reviews as soon as possible after each episode releases.